Hello there, YouTube or fellow boating people, Silverton people, whoever. I thought I would do a video on how to do these doors. I noticed a lot of people were having some issues with their doors on their Silvertons when I was looking for suggestions on parts. This also could apply to other doors too, that are sliding doors on cabin cruisers and that sort of thing. This door is really not that much different, but just to kind of start, I'll show you what I'm up against. So this door here, you can tell it is just sliding right on top of this track, and they got trucks. They call them trucks. There's 4 in it total for this door, and there's some screws here that hold that truck. And obviously this back one is, the wheels are gone or something. I can't really get down in there to see it. So, you know, when you try to open this door, this is not my only issue. I'll try to open this door. This door is just all just bad. It's all extremely hard to deal with. And this front one doesn't appear to be horrible. It's not rubbing on the top of this track. But the worst part about this door here is this lower track. And this one's all broke. There's missing the front part here. And then they call this the train. And it's also broke. It's missing a part in the back. You know, you see the door's not even connected down there. It's all just pretty much hanging on the top track. And you can see how much out of an alignment that is. I mean, that is supposed to be right about here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have to replace this lower track, the train, the lower trucks, and the top. I'm just going to replace the trucks. So I believe my track is actually still good. It doesn't look bad. But just for this Silverton here, this is a Silverton 312, a 1997 model. I'm restoring this boat. You can see inside I got interior all taken apart. But anyway, I'm just going to focus on doing this door restore right now. So here's what I purchased. I got these from Boat Outfitters is where I got them. It seemed like they had just about everything I needed. This stuff is kind of pricey. I want to say it was like $250 just for what you see. So anyway, what I got here is a new train for the lower. There's no holes drilled in it or anything like that. I ordered it to the correct length to this door. And I got a lower track, and I also ordered it to the correct length. Now there's a front and a back to this track. I think this is the front and I think this is the back, if I'm not mistaken. And then note there was 2 different size trucks. There's a little bit taller ones, and if you look, the outer screw holes are threaded, and then the shorter ones, the inner screw hole, just the center one, is threaded, and the shorter ones will be going onto the bottom. Now if you have a Silverton 312 and you're kind of looking at the same exact thing I'm doing, here's my parts list that I got. The top ones are the 0.75 inch tall, and the lowers are the 0.885 inch tall. And then I got a 49 inch long track and a 25 inch long door train. So, and here's the part numbers. So if you have the exact same boat, you know, this might help you out. So anyway, I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to show you really what the first step is to take this thing apart. Alright, to get this door off, there is two screws here, and 2 screws over here. And it's not tall enough in here to get, I can probably get maybe 4 fingers in there. Not tall enough to get a screwdriver. So what you'll have to do is basically, I'll try to do this one-handed, get a ratchet in there with a screwdriver bit and just take them out that way. Now, on my particular door and situation, all I would have to do is take those out and this door would come right out. Because there's really nothing holding it in down there. Now, if this is a normal door, I'd take it apart for whatever reason. Or, you know, it's not nearly as damaged as mine. What you'd have to do is open this engine compartment here. And then there's 1, 2, and 3 screws that you'll need to take out. They'll slide out. You kind of see right here how this is. Slide right out. And kind of give you an idea how bad my door is. You can see on the other side here that there's just a nut in there. So that nut would probably stay in that truck or train or whatever it's called. So let me make those steps and then I'll get back with you. Okay, now that you would have the door off, be very, very careful. I just set mine along the back like this, but man, don't drop that sucker. I don't know where you would get a replacement. I just don't. So once you get the bolts off up here, and then the bolts out of here. Okay, I had to kind of piece this one back together because mine is messed up. So normally there would be the trucks down in here attached to this piece, and the reason why I have to take the bolts out here first is you would not be able to get to the screw here. You know, keep in mind it's got these. Normally would have the trucks, or yeah, the trucks in this track, and you can't just pull it straight out because it's cupped in there. You have to kind of slide them in, or you know, maybe put them in before you screw this track down. So you have to take it apart here, and then there would be 2 screws, one here and then one here. And you can see all that's missing on mine. But yeah, you have to take that train part loose from the door, take these screws out, and then it will come off. And then you have the track. So I am going to replace my track. So I'm going to go ahead and take this track out, and just bear with me. Now that I got my track out, this would be a good time to do some cleaning down there. Definitely need to clean that out. Now, I'm replacing my upper trucks. And you can kind of see what I'm dealing with here. You know, mine definitely wore out. You know, this might be the only reason why you're taking your door apart. But these are definitely wore out. The wheels are falling off of them. And this upper, I was wondering if I had to take this upper track off or not, but it looks like what I can do is take this truck, slide it all the way here, and then turn it up. And you can see the wheels are falling off of it, just taking it out. So there. That's all I had to do to get these trucks out. Now, before you put new trucks in there, make sure you clean this as thoroughly as you can. I mean, get a rag down in there, water hose, whatever you gotta do. Just make sure you clean that track. And same goes for down here. I'm just gonna clean that just to make it nice. But yeah, that's a lot of the problems with these is they get dirt and debris in there and they kind of hang up these wheels. So it's definitely a good idea to just really keep these tracks clean. And as far as maintenance, I really think it's a bad idea to use any kind of grease lubricant on these things, because what happens if you put grease in here, I mean, sure, it'll work great, but grease will make the dirt and just debris stick. So then when you're rolling this thing along, it's going to get caught and it's going to go over it and all that kind of stuff. So just keeping it clean and then maybe use some sort of graphite lubricant is probably the best thing to do. But that's usually the main thing for these things wearing out is just people not maintaining them and cleaning them, and of course this one looks like it's mostly just wear on those wheels. So this boat is 97, so whatever, it's 2021 now, so I'm not good at math, but it's 20 something years old. So but yeah, so it's probably originals, and I will show you what we do next. Okay, this step I decided to drill the holes in the train. This is not easy, I'm gonna tell you right now. So I marked them out just like they should, and then you drill right on the center line here. That seems to be where the old one was. And then what I did is I took a little bit bigger drill bit and I was trying to countersink it so the screws would go in, trying to make it nice. And the first one I totally screwed up. Oh, so it just grabbed it and went right through. So and I did these two, and you know what, I'm not gonna do it. I don't recommend it. Maybe if you want to get a actual countersinking type drill bit or something, or maybe use a drill press, real easy. That's probably what I would recommend, is if you had access to a drill press, is just really take your time and do this. I'm just trying to do it with a hand drill, and geez, this makes me kind of sick, but what do you do? I think I'm just gonna have to put a washer on that and then just hope it doesn't touch anything. And then the second thing that was really hard is these holes right here for the bottom trucks. This one here kind of got off center just a little bit, and I'm really hoping it doesn't affect it much. This one I got it pretty much dead on, but I recommend drilling these this way, just straight down this way. That way you can kind of keep an eye on, make sure you don't have it too crooked or something, versus drilling it in this way. Because if you get it crooked and you come out the side of this, or if it's not lined, this hole is more important to be lined up than this hole, I guess is the best way to explain that. Because this hole is what really depends on the alignment of that truck. And like I said, unfortunately I got this one just a little bit off. Hopefully it will be okay. But yeah, I can't believe I did that. So this one's not going to be as picture perfect as I was hoping. But I don't know, no use on crying over spilled milk. I'm not going to buy another one. I'm not going to wait for it either. So anyway, on to the next step. Okay, this right here, I was just testing the fitment of this track, this lower track. So it ended up being about it's a couple inches too long. I don't know if I didn't take correct measurement or what, but it ended up being a little bit too long. So it's better to be too long than too short. I don't think it's that big of a deal to cut a little bit off of this, so I'm going to measure it up, figure out exactly what I need. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I decided it's probably the best, is I'm going to take, I got some silicone, and I'm going to just silicone up all the old holes. You can tell they had some on there before. And then for whatever reason, somebody decided to put a bunch of holes in it right here. Not sure why. Maybe just to doctor this up to get it by for a little bit. And I do recommend using marine grade silicone. And I did get some white. And this is what I bought here, just to do this. Let's see, this is actually adhesive sealant, but I'm going to use it. You know, one reason why you want to use marine grade. No, they just didn't charge you 300% to put that marine name on it, like some products out there. Some products, yes, they're probably the same and they'll work just fine, but the only reason why I decided to go with marine is because it's got UV protectant in it more than anything. So when this boat's out in the hot sun and all that, it's not going to break down the silicone as quick. So, you know, you could probably use something else, but as long as it was UV protectant. But I figured why risk it to save the $7. So I just went ahead and did that. So anyway, let me get this all trimmed up, and I'll put some adhesive in here, and we'll go to the next step. Alright, so here's where I'm at. I got this track installed, and the trucks and the slide. I'm going to tell you something right off the bat. This screws that went in the original one, they're too short. This one was designed a little bit different. It's a lot thicker right here on the new one, and I was kind of afraid that might be interfere with my clearance, but so you can kind of see right here how much thicker that is than this one here. If I can get it. There we go. So that's the thickness of the old one, and then the thickness of the new one. Now down here where the trucks go, it's pretty close to being the same thickness. It's a little bit thicker. By the way, I ended up cutting this thing down to 47.5 inches. So I don't know if you could get a 47.5, but you might have to get the 49 and cut it down. I couldn't remember the options on there at all. So yeah, this is a little bit difficult to get it in and right. As what I ended up having to do, I had to drill the screws. I had to get longer screws. And I ended up having to basically countersink. I didn't put this screw in right here just to kind of show you. What I did is I drilled a little bit with my drill bit that I was using to try to countersink, and ended up drilling all the way through that, but I just drilled it with no pilot hole, and it kind of went smooth and slow, just enough to let that head of that screw bury down in there. So that way the slide doesn't hang up on it. I did put one screw in it before I did that, and the truck would just stop and hang up and all that stuff. You don't want that. So that's what I ended up doing there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide the new trucks in up there. This is already installed, and I should be able to set my door in place. So this is the moment of truth. Let's see how she worked out. Alright, did run into a little bit of a problem. The door was sitting a little too high. So what I did is I pulled it back out, and I know that it was sitting, the screws were up a little bit in this track. So what I did is, you know, they obviously needed to be countersunk. And I'm trying to think of a good way to do it. And I didn't want to drill it and do the same thing and really screw up this, because then it'll be game over. So basically backed it out, held the track up, just took the screw where it was just freewheeling in there, just took it, just turned it real fast and kind of put some pressure in it, and it actually melted itself in a little bit. You know, and of course I let it cool off, and then screwed it back down, and it went perfect. So I would say that might be a good tactic to countersinking these screws. I should have done it up here with these, but I didn't. Maybe I'll try it still. But anyway, let me put it back together, and hopefully it's not too high. I did run into somebody else on the Silverton forum who said they've done this and it was a little bit too high. But we'll give it a try. To show you this countersinking technique, which I think worked out pretty darn good. Let's see here. So anyway, the screw here obviously gonna stick out a little bit, and you want that nice and flush. So I'll show you in action here. So you just turn it really fast and it melted itself in place. So there's your good countersinking method. For this plastic anyway. So let me finish some stuff up and we'll move to the next. So here's where I'm at. I'm very disappointed. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to fix this. The door is a little too high. Let's see, but it slides the way it should. Pretty nice. Do it one-handed. But you can see that she's about, let's see here, you can see about how high, too high it is. God, if I get that thing to focus. So, yeah, it's roughly about ½ inch too high. And some of the other issues with that is it sticks out right here, and you got kind of a air gap right there. So I'm gonna try to figure this out, how to deal with this, because that ain't good. Some people might be okay with it. You can always take this striker and move it up a little bit and the door would function the way it is, and you might be able to get some more weather stripping or something and put it along here. But it's definitely not perfect. So let me kind of regroup my thoughts and figure out what to do here. Okay, I made a huge mistake. So I measured it out a little bit, and it looks like if I shave that top part off of this truck, it would definitely help it out a whole bunch. I don't know if that's what needs to happen or not, but I'm gonna try it. So I popped all the little wheels off of it to start. Now, the mistake I made is I found a few of the balls. Well, there's 6 rollers in here, and I'm gonna go back up there and see if I can find another one. They go in this little cage, and when I pop the wheel off, this is the first one I tried, and I pried on it on the wheel itself, and it popped the bearing part of it apart. Shoot. So I'm gonna try to find the 6th ball, and I could probably get it back together. So what I did is I ended up prying on the other part here to get this whole wheel assembly off, and I used this tool here, this little yeah, it's just like a little wedge, or what do you call them? Chisel. So I was able to get it in behind there just enough, just barely, and just pop it off. Very, very carefully. I mean, if you're not good at doing some careful stuff, I would not attempt this. And so what I'm going to do, since I got those wheels popped off, I'm going to try to shave that top part off of this one and see what happens. I'm also going to double check and see if there's a better part number I could have used as far as the lower truck. And I'll keep you posted. Okay, pretty much what I did is I ground it down, put it in the vise, took the wheels off. Just ground it down my grinder. Just ground it down flush. So, and then I put the new one back together, or the other one. Got the wheel to go back in it, but I did kind of chew up the corner. But it still operates. We'll see. If I have to replace it later, I will. Did measure it. It looks like it's better. I don't know if it's dead on, but I'm gonna stick it all back together and see what happens. All right. So another problem kind of emerged. I sanded down those rollers or trucks or whatever, and test fitted everything. I'm trying to get into the light where you can see a little better. So anyway, this thing, this bottom edge on the other side was rubbing on that taller side of the track. So I ended up taking it and I ground it down and sanded it. You kind of see it. I was trying to show you. But man, this has definitely not been the project I was thinking it would be. But I'm just trying to get this thing to slide better. So let's see what happens. The BS of this continues. So I believe I got everything to the right height. Now my problem is, see how it's got that edge on the back side of it? I'm just gonna have to cut that off. So I just got this all taped out. I'm gonna cut that off because the truck is actually rubbing on it hardcore. Like it feels like I didn't even fix the door. So I'm gonna cut that sucker off. I don't know. I think it's supposed to kind of help keep debris coming from inside the cabin or whatever. And plus I'm going to try to look for some different parts, you know, just to kind of update everybody. Maybe I just bought all the wrong crap. But anyway, let me cut this off. All right, here is my outcome. I got it, finally. Jeez, oh Pete's. So it goes about as smooth as you could ask for, you know, a boat like this anyway. And my striker lines up absolutely perfect. Sorry for the poor video footage. But the only thing that's still a little bit of a concern is still got kind of a gap right there. But this door may be kind of warped up from the sun or something. I don't know. That might be as good as it gets. And I still think I probably should have replaced this track because I think it's a little bit wore out down in there. But I think here's what I should have done, just to kind of recap on this. I should have replaced this track, which I don't think it needs to be replaced horribly. I think it probably not worth going back and doing it, but I probably would have bought one of these upper tracks just like this for the bottom, because there was a goofy lip that kind of held everything up in the end. I don't have, let's see, hang on. I'll try to get a good picture of this. So basically in the end, it's about as good as you could get. I still don't have this screw all the way in. I got to get a longer screw. So it had this lip here, and it was hitting right here. This, when I looked it up, this was a lower sliding door track. and that's what I base it off of. You know, I had to sand it. I probably smooth that up a little bit, but like I said, I would probably order an upper track for this lower. I think is probably would have been the more appropriate thing to do. And as far as those trucks, I'm gonna see if I can find one that's shorter. Definitely needs to be shorter. Probably like you know, maybe a half-inch shorter than what it was. So that is pretty much it. I really hope this might have helped you in some form or fashion. It definitely wasn't a very smooth, easygoing project. Definitely not what I expected. I kind of expected to throw the parts on it and go, but that did not happen. But like I said, there's a couple pieces that probably needed to be different. I would have bought a upper track for this lower instead of the actual lower, and then try to find some shorter trucks. And I'm going to get online right now and see if I can find them.